Hey there and welcome! My name is Tamitha and today we are turning tiny clothes into memories. If you've been holding onto your child's favorite outfits, the ones they've long outgrown but can't quite let go of, this memory lion is the perfect way to preserve that special season of life. Together we'll stitch up something sweet, meaningful, and full of love. I'll be showing step-by-step how to sew a memory lion using the Larry the Lion sewing pattern by Funky Friends Factory. The link will be in the description box below. Let's get started! You will first need to print out the pattern pieces according to the instructions. I copied my patterns onto a thin plastic from the Dollar Tree. Lay the garments out flat and look for the sections you want to use. Pick areas that carry sentimental value, a pocket, a name tag, or a well-worn patch. To keep things organized, make a list of all the pattern pieces and fabric. Trace the templates lightly with a fabric marker, pencil, or permanent marker onto the interfacing. I like to interface all my pieces. Cut out and lay onto your fabrics. Flip the pattern over so you have a right and left side. Then iron. Next, cut out all iron shapes. Time to sew. Start with the head. With right sides, sew the lion's main section together. Make sure to pivot at corners. Clip the seams using pinking shears or making small snips with scissors in the seam allowance and snip off the points of the mane so that it will turn nicely. Doing so helps the curves to lay smoother. Be careful not to cut into your stitch line. Turn right side out using a turning tool like a wooden chopstick to make the tips of the mane nice and pointy. With the main pieces right sides out, I like to do a long basting stitch to sew around the inside open raw edge of the mane. Sew the side head pieces to the cheeks from A to B, matching the stars of the pattern markings. Remember to clip the curves. Then we are going to sew the nose to the forehead. Sew a side head cheek piece to the nose forehead piece on one side. Sew the other side head cheek piece to the nose forehead piece on the other side, and continue on sewing the cheek pieces together along the center. I like to go ahead and install the safety eyes at this point. Sew the chin to the cheek pieces. Line up the center of the chin with the center seam of the cheeks, right sides together. Sew the ears with right sides together, matching 2 of your earpieces at a time. Sew around the curved edge, leaving the straight edge open. Clip and turn right sides out. Fold the ears in half. Sew the straight edges of the ear together as shown on the pattern piece. This will form a fold when you open it up again. Repeat for the second set of ear pieces. Use the pattern markings to place the ears on the lion face and sew to attach with about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Pin the inside edges of the lion's mane to the face, finding the center. Start at the top of the forehead center and pin down towards the side cheek piece on each side, and then sew. Don't worry, there should be a gap under the chin right here. Sew the back head pieces together as shown on the pattern markings. Next, we will pin the back head pieces to the lion's face, with the mane and ears in between. Use lots of pins or clips and sew the seam very carefully so the layers don't slip. I found it easiest to find the exact middle of the lion's mane and line it up with the center seam we sewed before. Then I start sewing there, adjusting the 2 pieces as I sew, making sure to keep my seam allowance as close to 1/4 of an inch as possible. Clip the seam allowance. The bottom of the head back pieces, JH, should align with the side seam of the chin pieces. Put the head aside to make the body. Sew the tail and the tail tip together as shown on the pattern. Cut the tassels for the tail about 1/4 of an inch thick. Fold in half to create a crease. Open and then fold each side towards that folded crease. Now fold those halves in half again. Stitch the tail closed at the side with a 1/4 of an inch seam. You don't need to sew the whole way down the tail tip, about 1/2 of an inch. Pin the tail in place and sew onto the back of the body with tail stitches facing down. I like to sew one half of the body sections at a time, starting with the front and back outer legs to the body, with the fabric right sides together and matching the dots of the pattern markings. Please make sure toes are pointing upwards towards the neck. Now let's stitch the body pieces together along the back. Remember to leave a gap for stuffing above the tail. I do the same process with the tummy, sewing one side at a time. Sew the back inner legs and front inner legs to the tummy. Remember to place pieces with the right side of the fabric together, matching the crosses of the pattern markings. Make sure toes are pointing upwards towards the neck. Sew the tummy and inner leg section to the body and outer leg section, matching points C, D, E, and F. I find it's easiest to sew the back of the back legs and bottom closed first, then the portion between the front and back legs next. Lastly, sew the front of the front legs. Use plenty of pins in this step to help everything stay in place. It's completely normal to get some wrinkling here, especially when working with cotton fabrics. Remember to clip the seams. Sew the foot pads in place. Use lots of pins so they don't slip as you sew. I personally just match up the dot markings from the pattern with the leg seams and add clips there. Then I sew slowly and adjust the two pieces as I sew to keep them lined up. Repeat this 4 more times. Clip those seam allowances once again, always making sure you do not cut into the stitching line. Sew the head to the body at the neck. I find the best way to do this is to position the head facing inside the body, lining the center lion's mane with the center of the body back seam. Pull the head back out of the body. Pin and sew the lion closed under the chin, neck, and tummy. Sew from G, H, J, K. Turn the lion right sides out through the opening in the back. Take it slowly so you don't accidentally rip the back seam farther open. Time to stuff the lion. Use a ladder stitch to close the opening on the lion's back. Use some black pins to help you decide where you want to place your lion's whisker spots. Then use black, brown, or in my case, pink embroidery thread and French knots to sew on some spots for them. And here it is, a memory lion, crafted not just with thread, but with heart, a quiet keeper of love, a soft place to rest a memory. May it bring comfort in the quiet moments and connection that never fades. If you still have any questions about sewing memory animals, leave them in the comments below because I have another video coming that will have tons of extra bonus tips for making sure your memory animals are amazing. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that video. Thank you for stitching along with me. Until next time, keep creating and keep remembering.